Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to give you our first top 5 tips. Top 5 tips? 5 tips for crested geckos. So, tip number 1, only do bioactive if you do it right. I'm all for, trying to give the animals the best thing that you can give them. If you've been watching, you've known I've made like this little bioactive home, which I've been very excited with. I've liked a lot. I did another type in here, and the aloe actually has been doing okay because I've been spraying kind of all around the edges and leaving it alone. And then I've built like these little guys here too. So I've really I've really enjoyed experimenting and trying to do this, and I might come back to it. But it's just, if you don't do it properly, it's worse than not doing it at all. So, because it's just I lost a gecko in here, and it was basically dead, and it had dirt in its mouth. So, I don't know if it died because, there's mold. Come now, you can look at that. So there's some mold, starting to mold a bit. It has a little bit of a smell. I don't think that it died though because of mold spores or anything. I think it actually died because it was too little, and I had the bugs in there, what are they called? Isopods and springtails. And I think that it tried to eat an isopod, it swallowed some dirt, and it got impacted or choked and died. I was going to show you, but then I'm just sometimes something happens and now I'm going to make a video. So it died, I'm okay, I should probably make a video, but I just didn't feel like making a video. So if an animal dies, I feed them to Pearl, my black-tailed crebo, or Xena, my Florida king snake. I really do love and care about my animals, but I am a little bit emotionally disconnected. When an animal dies, I don't cry. I'm never going to post a video for you where you see me crying about losing an animal. It's kind of like life. It died, that sucks. But what can I learn from that? What can I do better? And move along, because crying isn't going to bring my animal back.
She was always my animal that I could always...
Also, thinking that I didn't do anything wrong, that's not good either. I did do something wrong, so that's why I'm telling you. Tip number 1, if you're going to do bioactive, do it properly. I got all excited, I set up these little mini bio things, and I didn't think about, I never even thought about that, but now I have a dead animal instead of a wonderful animal that's enriched and enjoying a better life because it's in dirt. Instead I have a dead animal because it swallowed some dirt. So here, I'm going back to basics. I'm setting up my crested gecko babies in these for now. When they're adults, I'm still gonna try and make a bigger home with the UV and stuff. But we're gonna take a couple steps back and then we'll move forward again. So this is how I'm setting up my crested gecko babies now. Just simple paper towel, egg cartons, stuff from the dollar store, stuff that's not gonna mold, stuff that you're not gonna really have to worry about. So I got these egg cartons off Amazon. You don't want to actually use your own egg cartons, because if there's broken eggs or anything, then you can really get salmonella, or you give your animals salmonella, or I might be wrong about that, but I've heard that. So why take any more risks than we have to? I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? It's just me and Charlie in the room. Okay, tip number 2. No substrate for babies. So, I don't think that babies should be on substrate. Because it's just yeah, in the wild maybe they are something, or I think in the wild most of the time they're up in the trees, crawling around and stuff. I don't know if they hide. Relax, everything's okay. I'm here with my friends. Okay, so very, very basically simple setup now, because simple is easy to keep clean. It's easy to see everything. And I don't have to worry about mold or anything. In a week or in 2 weeks, if it starts getting icky, then I can totally make it fresh. At the dollar store, they have these wonderful fern things, fake ferns, so I tear them apart. I like them because you can spray water on them and they hold the water. I don't spray directly into the paper towel. I spray all those sides of the walls every day, and I'll spray the those things. So that comes to tip number 3. I don't know if you ever heard of the term, keep it simple, stupid. So this is basically just a tried and tested simple method that works. So after that happened, so after I found my dead gecko, I kind of just quickly set up some quick ones in here. So I have them together, and now I want to separate them and make sure that they have their own home. Another thing that I think is really wonderful at the dollar store, this was $1.25. Bonus tip. These are like little makeup containers or whatever, and I love them because they're like acrylic-y. So I can mix up the food and put them on these things. So like $1.25 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 food trays, which leads me to tip number 4. And tip number 4 is going to be, when you mix your powder in with the water, don't be cheap. Make sure the ratio is like close to 1 to 1. You can go 3 to 1, but then you're just going to be giving them more water and less food. So if you make it like a nice paste that they eat, then they're going to grow faster. These lens are a little crazy. Look at this one. Take a look. It's cutesy time. So I already had him kind of set up here, but now I'm just separating them. Woo! Woo! Little guys are so cute. So that one's set up for now. I don't have the food ready. I'm going to do the food later. So that's the next tip, to basically mix the food at a close to 1 to 1 ratio. That is going to help to get your geckos growing faster, because they'll have to kind of eat less food to get more food. Whereas if it's all watered down and you're wondered why your geckos aren't really growing, it's because of that, or that could be a factor. Also, if you have geckos together, they might be fighting with each other, or one might be eating and bullying the other. So if you just want to make sure they're all doing great and growing nicely, grow them in a nice little simple thing separately. I found these bins, these Sterilite bins, I found them at Walmart for like $5-6, so they came to about $1.60 each. So that's pretty good. So here we have a simple setup. No, we don't have UV or any of that, which would be ideal and wonderful. But when you're taking care of a whole pile of animals, it's something more that I would tell somebody getting a gecko when it's going to be your final pet. Give them the best you can and set them up and all that stuff. But for right now, they're going to be fine in this. They're going to grow, and then they'll get to a bigger weight, and they'll go to a good home, hopefully. That will give them a nice bigger setup. And when they're little, that's another thing. When they're little, if you put them in a setup that's too big, they might not actually find their food. So them being in a smaller setup where they can actually find their food, that's going to help. Because like you look at this for the size of the gecko, this is not a tiny home. Like, it's a decent size. And then as they get bigger, bigger homes. But with the babies, I think less is more. And maybe it's not getting all the enrichment of a bioactive home, but it's growing, it's living, it's thriving, and that's That's what matters the most. So if you're going to be giving an animal a home, always try and get better. I'm going to try and get better. I'm going to watch some more YouTube channels and stuff and try and learn the bioactive more. But I think my big mistake with the bioactive was not setting up an environment, giving it time for the springtails and everything to grow and populate, and making sure that the environment is not toxic. Even though I don't think it died from the environment being toxic. It died because it swallowed dirt. Yeah. Don't put babies on substrate. And then the final tip. The final tip is not to feed them bugs until you get them established on their mix. First you get them established on their little mix food for like a month or two. And then they're bigger, they're stronger, because when they first come out, they're a little bit more fragile. So get them used to the powder. Feed them that, keep it simple once again. And then once they have a bit of size on them, then you can start feeding them bugs, and then they should grow even better for you. But another thing that could happen is you give them bugs, and then they like the bugs, and then they don't want to eat anything else. And they can even do that with the powders too. So I like to offer them Repashy, but then I also like to offer them Pangea, just so I can give them a variety, because variety is the spice of life. Charlie, don't you notice that sometimes yours just want the watermelon one?
Yeah, only the watermelon. and yeah, they refuse the other one. They won't even eat it.
Yeah, so it's like they want the watermelon Pangea, and they don't want the Repashy calcium diet, whatever, MCR.
Yeah, and two.
My chemical.
Yeah.
Is it called MCR or MRC? Or?
MRC, something like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like.
Yeah. And mine are afraid of bugs. Two are afraid of bugs. The other one eats them.
Okay, so this next one is not fancy, but it's crazy, and it's actually probably it's one of my favorites. I got a whole pile of favorites, but where is that little crazy one? Oh, he's hiding. Come on, you're not being crazy? Oh yeah, you're being crazy. Okay, look at this one. This one is so little, and you can see the little. Can you see the dots on it?
No, it won't.
Okay. See the little spots on him?
Yeah.
You can keep it zoomed, and woo! He's so crazy. He's so active. He loves jumping everywhere. Okay. And then the next two are fancy. Fancy. Fancy! I'll drop you a link for Amazon to get these egg trays if I can remember. I always say I'm going to leave links and then I forget to leave them. And they'll be affiliate links, so that means that when you spend $20 buying these egg crates, I might make $1 and it won't cost you any more. But it'll just be a nice way to support me. Because every dollar counts. Maybe I'm just hot. I don't feel natural. I'm just nervous because I'm making like a top 5 list or something, so I feel like a sellout or something. Like, this is not me. I'm not one of those top 5 people. Sorry to all those top 5 people. Like, obviously, it's good because otherwise I wouldn't be trying to do it. So I'm basically copying you. So don't feel like I'm putting you down or anything, because when somebody copies you, that's one of the greatest forms of flattery.
Yeah.
And people just take things so personally sometimes. Oh my goodness, he was making fun of me. Did he say that about me? All I do are top 5 channels. That's okay. That's okay. See, I might, next thing you know, that's all I'll be. I'll just be like the next top 5 guy. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get. So tell me if you're enjoying this, and if you'd like to do a different type of top 5 thing, or bottom 5, or list stuff. Tell me what you want so I can give it to you. Okay, so now the next one is the one and only Lily White. And look at how sweet and calm she is. She's actually, or I don't know if it's a she or a he.
Not yet.
But it's a very nice, sweet gecko. You zoomed in?
Yeah.
Very good. And, yeah, see, even baby, but so calm. So now,
Yeah, very sweet.
very nice. So now she's on her own. And then, the last one's probably not as common. Along with the Lily White, the Xanthics have been super popular. And this is not an Xanthic. And what I've found, or at least what I've heard, is that the Xanthics actually don't end up getting super dark. They actually end up being kind of gray. And when I was shopping for my Lily White, I heard about this gene called the charcoal. And it's kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like more like a melanistic gene. So the geckos start getting darker and darker. So I've always thought it's cool with snakes or anything. People always seem to like the lightest animals or the darkest. So it's nice to kind of try and work on both ends of that spectrum. So I'm trying to make Lily Whites and charcoals. And we've used up our ferns. Hopefully they can't hear that music. We're having karaoke in the other room. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. And then my gecko's tail falls off. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a charcoal. Very cool, very dark animal. Bright eyes, dark skin, very cool.
I couldn't get the eyes.
I'll go see if you can. Just zoom in. And then point to it and then tap it on the screen.
It moved.
Okay.
Where'd it go? There you go.
Got it? I'm gonna show you 2 more geckos. And then we're done. I mean, we're not done. I'm not supposed to say we're done. You're supposed to keep watching because I'm supposed to string you along. Nothing like adding a natural scent to the environment. What's Charlie thinking? Charlie's like, oh man.
I'm stuck in the room with them.
I'm sorry, I'm also lactose intolerant. And the wife loves to make stuff full of cheese, so. Okay, so I'm gonna actually move the guy from here. Oh, there's more in here. So I'm gonna be moving my dude out of this one, just in case. Plus I noticed these things with this home that I made, they can get out. So now we're gonna have a bonus Charlie tip. Go like this. And what would happen is the geckos would get out the sides. So you can take these little things and clip the sides. And when you do that,
yeah, they can bounce on it and they won't open up.
do that, the gecko's not going anywhere. And just so you know, even if you can't see, there's holes all over the side and the top. So I don't get the, well, no wonder they're dying, there's no ventilation. They are ventilated, okay? See, there's holes and holes and holes. Holes for days. Same thing over here. There's holes all over the side. There's holes on the top. Actually, you guys saw me drilling it, okay? So never mind. And if you didn't, then you can go back and watch those videos and learn how to make my mini bioactive enclosures that I'm not going to use for a while. I'll put more plants in them and try and get an environment going and not just make an environment and put an animal in it. Because that was a silly noob thing. I didn't realize that we really got to take our time and make sure that our setups are just right before putting the animal in. I love, like, this one's kind of orange looking. Sorry, you're going to a smaller home for now. Till I figure out what to do with you guys. First year doing Crested Geckos, so I will learn and get better and then share and help. So hopefully you learn from my mistake and you don't lose any baby Crested Geckos. I think I'm gonna leave this one in here because I see like a ton of springtails. So I think that the environment has been doing well. This is my favorite Crested Gecko baby. I don't know, hoping it's gonna be a girl. She's like, or it is like orange. And see, it's like orange and black on top. Very cool looking to me. It might just be like some normal type of looking thing, but I've never bred Crested Geckos until this year, so to me it's fun. So, if you want to see some more gecko videos, check out the gecko playlist in the first video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, participate in the comments, tell me what you think. Tell me if these are things you've already gone through, what you've learned.